What do we really want from a handheld? Is it escape? A place to lose ourselves in pixelated worlds of chaos and beauty? Or is it more? A promise that, for a fleeting moment, we're in control of something. A world of our own making. The ROG Ally X, sleek, bold, and unapologetically ambitious, whispers that promise with every line, every curve of its design. But promises, like dreams, are easy to sell. Execution, well, that's where things get messy. This is about the way it feels in your hands, the way it performs under pressure. It's about whether this thing can deliver what it swears it can. Freedom, joy, maybe even a little magic. But like any great meal, any legendary journey, we've got to taste it, feel it, live it. So, is the ROG Ally X a ticket to the extraordinary, or just another glossy promise? At its core, the ROG Ally X is built to impress. It's powered by AMD's Ryzen Z1 Extreme processor, delivering unparalleled experiences for a handheld gaming machine. The 7-inch Full HD screen features 120Hz refresh rate with FreeSync support, making every frame buttery smooth and visually stunning. It comes equipped with 24 gigs of RAM and a 1TB full-sized M.2 SSD. Connectivity is robust, featuring dual USB-C ports, one supporting USB 4 Thunderbolt compatibility and the other USB 3.2 Gen 2, alongside a UHS-II MicroSD card reader for expandable storage. Designed with ergonomics in mind, the device incorporates refined joysticks, a precise D-pad, and customizable RGB lights around the joysticks, enhancing both comfort and style. Running on Windows 11, the Ally X provides access to a vast array of games across multiple platforms, but I have a lot to say about that, and in fact, I recently installed Bazzite, and now I'm running Linux, and I basically never go into Windows because it just ruined this device, and now it's basically perfect. Spoiler. With an 80-watt battery supporting extended play and fast charging, the ROG Ally X is the king of battery life and performance, and, well, kinda, almost everything. All right, that's enough about all the specs about this device. Now let's just get into it. Let's talk about what my last couple months have been like with this device. We have a big announcement, everybody. We are doing an even bigger and more epic giveaway. Thanks to the incredible people over at VITURE, we will be giving away the VITURE Pro Cloud Pack. This features the brand new Pro neckband, the VITURE Pro XR glasses, and an 8-bit Zoo controller. Everything you need for epic cloud gaming and even more. This ultimate bundle is valued at over $700, so again, thank you so much, VITURE, for this. This is just so awesome, and it's been so much fun to be able to give away these amazing products to you guys. The VITURE Pro XR glasses deliver a fully private 135-inch, 120Hz full HD display with ultra clarity and 1,000 nits perceived brightness for an immersive experience. And now, with the Pro neckband, you can stream from your PC or game in the cloud like never before. Don't miss your chance to win. Click the link in the description and enter and rack up as many entries as possible. Good luck, everybody. I've had the ROG Ally for a while now. I've tested it out, I've put it through its paces, and I'm a believer. This is why. My first impressions, which you can watch right here, is kind of exactly what I was anticipating going from the Steam Deck to a Windows-based handheld device. It was painful. It took hours just to get this thing set up so that you could play some games on it. It is nothing like a console. So if you're looking for something that's simple and easy, you can just skip any Windows handheld device. They are not, I repeat, they are not like a console. They are 100% a Windows PC and you are getting almost worse than Windows PC because they're building software on top of Windows to try to hide it. And that gets janky and has its own issues on top of Windows already existing and having issues. Oh my gosh. But when I finally got all of that set up and actually started to play games how it was intended to be, then I started to notice that yes, you are getting better performance. Yes, the battery is bigger and you get better battery life. You do notice that the screen is smaller and not as nice, but it was not as noticeable as I was anticipating. I thought it would be so jarring going from the OLED's beautiful 8-inch screen to this puny little 7-inch 16:9. It is noticeable, but not as bad as I was thinking. To be very honest, the first few days with the Ally, I wasn't impressed enough. All the games that I could play on the Ally at a little bit better frames per second, I was enjoying on the OLED perfectly fine. Sure, maybe it wasn't playing at 45 frames per second or above, but I was still being able to play them at 30 plus frames per second on the Steam Deck. And the ergonomics on the Steam Deck are so much better. It is way more comfortable holding the Steam Deck compared to the ROG Ally X. So as I was putting it through the paces and I was thinking through all of those things, I really thought to myself, I don't need this. I think I have just as much fun playing these games on the OLED, and $800 just doesn't seem worth it. That was until AMD dropped Fluid Motion Frames 2. And this is actually the turning point for me. I've been now playing games on the ROG Ally with this on and getting over 100 frames per second on games like Elden Ring. And it is incredible. Hands down, just the most insane experience compared to every other handheld device. Now I know that this will be released on other handheld devices, but it's definitely not coming to the Steam Deck. Unfortunately, the Steam Deck is probably just never going to see something like this because the APU just does not have the horsepower needed to be able to be generating these frames in between all the other frames. And so now all of a sudden, the Ally X becomes a powerhouse, and I find myself only wanting to pick it up to play games because it is so crazy to experience Elden Ring on a handheld device at almost 100 frames per second. There are still things that I really dislike about Windows on a handheld, and in terms of ergonomics, the Ally X is fine, but compared to the Steam Deck, it just doesn't compete. The Steam Deck feels so good in my hands. It's crazy. And don't get me wrong, it's not that the ROG Ally X is extremely discomfortable in my hands. It's just not as good as the OLED Steam Deck, which is fine because the Steam Deck is just ridiculously ergonomic and comfortable. So it's not like a deal breaker by any means. I'm really nitpicking here on this video, so bear with me while I kind of talk crap about things that aren't a massive issue. But when a device costs this much, I think we can be a little bit nitpicky. So that's just something I hope that the next generation will address, because a lot of the other things on this device are going really strong. Okay, while it's undeniable there are lots of benefits to having Windows running on your handheld device, there's just so many drawbacks that it irked me so much. The biggest problem is that most of the time throughout the week, I've only got like 15 minutes to maybe pick this thing up, play a game, and then put it down. Now, what was happening way too often with Windows was that it would take me over that 15 minutes just to get into a game and start playing it. So I would become so frustrated with this device that I stopped picking it up. Now, when it did work, it's phenomenal, outpacing the Steam Deck by far. And especially with AMD Fluid Motion 2, it's just a beautiful thing. But recently, I finally installed Bazzite on this device, and now, to be very honest with you, I rarely pick up the Steam Deck. But when I do pick up the Steam Deck, man, does it feel good, and dang, does that screen look so nice. But other than those things, The ROG Ally X is kind of running circles around our poor little old Steam Deck. And I'm not that mad about it. I'm really enjoying this device. Bazzite functions exactly like SteamOS and has a couple other features that are really cool about it. Being able to just swipe from a corner and get to all of your settings is really, really nice. But I also haven't forsaken Windows. I can easily just boot into Windows on my device still. So if there's anything that I can't do on Linux, I can just go into Windows and do anything that this device was created to do, including, if I really want to, jump in there and play some Elden Ring at 100 frames per second. Another fun little perk, now that it's running Linux, I can just swap the micro SD card out of my Steam Deck and put it into my ROG Ally X, and the whole entire library of games just works. So I can just go between devices and all my games on that can be shared, which is kind of just a nice little perk. So at the end of the day, the ROG Ally X has actually become kind of the Swiss Army knife of handhelds because of that extra big battery and power that we're getting out of this device, and the ability to install Bazzite thanks to the team who's working on that over there. This kind of now just becomes the Steam Deck and the Windows handheld device that we've all wanted. It's just giving us the best of both worlds. I'm finding myself reaching for the Steam Deck less and less often because I know that the ROG Ally X is going to be able to do anything that I want to do. So at the end of the day, yes, I think the ROG Ally has indeed made good on the promise of what it said it was out to deliver. Truthfully, there's only a few things that I would like to see in the ROG Ally 2, which would be an OLED screen, and I would like to see them do a bezel-less 10x16. I know it doesn't seem like it makes a huge difference, and I'm actually not sure that they're going to go for this because so many things natively do support the 9x16 aspect ratio, but man, that just tiny bit of real estate that you get going to a 10x16 makes a huge difference, and I like it so much more. Okay, everybody wants it, so just give us the OLED, bigger, better, bezel-less screen. That's one thing that I would like to see in the next one. The second thing I would love to see them attempt to do is just make the ergonomics a little bit better, just to make it feel a little nicer in the hands, so for extended gameplay, you just don't even think about it. It just fits perfectly in the palms of your grimy little hands. And honestly, I think the third and last thing, which they don't have a lot of control over, is a better unboxing, installing, and setup experience. It was horrible. Horrible. Unacceptable. Okay, already experiencing my first Windows-esque issues here. I was doing an update and I unplugged it because I was gonna bring it with me while it was restarting. But that freaked it out because it was doing some BIOS update that I didn't even know that that's what it was doing. This shouldn't be getting sold in stores like Best Buy just because of that. It's crazy. But I don't know if they can do that with Windows kind of being the ones that need to make that happen for them. But if they can, then they absolutely should. They should be focusing all their time on making that experience 100 times better than it was, because I bet you anything that the return rate of these devices is way too high. And it's all coming down to that experience of trying to just get into the first game, which takes over an hour. That's ridiculous and shouldn't be happening. It would be interesting to see if they would start shipping these devices with SteamOS as the default operating system. I'm not sure, and I'm not holding my breath for that anytime soon. I know they're in the works of making it compatible, but I don't know if that means it's going to be the default. And then obviously we all want the more powerful hardware, so that should go without saying. We are so close to 10 10,000 subscribers. I've had a goal to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We are dangerously close to the end of the year and dangerously close to 10,000 subscribers. So if you have watched one of my videos before and you're watching this one right now and you found any value whatsoever or entertainment, please do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment. Let's go 10,000. And I think that's it. I will see you guys in the next one.